Have you ever been on a plane and witnessed something crazy? You know those moments that make you question if you're in a reality TV show or just having a bizarre dream? Air travel is a unique experience, filled with its own set of quirks and oddities. From the moment you step into the airport, the adventure begins. The security lines, the rush to the gate, and finally the boarding process. It's a microcosm of human behavior, all packed into a metal tube hurtling through the sky. I mean, besides the tiny bags of peanuts and the fight for the armrest, those are just the tip of the iceberg. Have you ever noticed how people react to airplane food? It's like a social experiment. Some people are thrilled to get their hands on those little snack packs, while others turn their noses up at the mere sight of them. And let's not forget the beverage cart. The anticipation as it slowly makes its way down the aisle, the clinking of ice, the polite yet firm, "No, thank you," or the eager, "Yes, please," for that extra cup of soda. We've all been there, right? The crowded cabin, the stressed out passengers, the endless waiting. It's a test of patience and endurance. You can see it on everyone's faces. The silent prayers for a smooth flight, the hope that the person next to them isn't a talker, and the dread of a crying baby. It's a shared experience, a collective journey where everyone is in it together, for better or worse. That weird tension in the air when the plane takes off, like everyone's collectively holding their breath until they're sure it's not going to nosedive. It's a moment of unity, where strangers become comrades if only for a few minutes. The engines roar, the plane shakes, and then, like magic, you're airborne. The world below becomes a patchwork quilt, and for a moment, all your worries seem small and insignificant. But sometimes the real drama isn't the turbulence, it's the passengers, the arguments over reclining seats, the passive-aggressive battles for overhead bin space, and the occasional outburst that leaves everyone on edge. It's a reminder that while we're all in this together, we're also individuals with our own quirks and boundaries. And sometimes those boundaries clash in spectacular fashion. And let me tell you folks, this story is about to hit some serious turbulence. Strap in, because just when you think you've seen it all, the skies have a way of surprising you. Whether it's an unexpected storm or a passenger who just can't keep it together, air travel is never dull. So fasten your seatbelts, keep your tray tables up, and get ready for a wild ride. This is one flight you won't forget. Let's face it, flying can be a real test of patience. You've got delays, cramped seats, and let's not even get started on the TSA. But you know what's worse than all of that combined? Discrimination. Yeah, that ugly beast rears its head even at 30,000 feet. See, the sky might be vast and endless, but apparently some people's minds? Not so much. They bring their baggage, and I'm not talking about the carry-on kind, onto the plane with them. Picture this, a young black woman dressed to the nines boarding a plane. She's got that first-class ticket, the one that lets you skip the line and pretend you don't feel everyone's envious stares. She finds her seat, settles in, ready for a smooth ride. But then the turbulence hits. The flight attendant, let's call her Karen because of course, approaches. Now Karen takes one look at this woman, and you can practically hear the judgmental gears turning in her head. Karen, with a tight smile plastered on her face, asks for the woman's ticket. Again. Like maybe she thinks this woman snuck onto the plane disguised as a successful businesswoman. The other passengers start to notice. You can feel the tension rising, thicker than airplane coffee. Some passengers exchange uncomfortable glances. Others avoid eye contact altogether. But everyone's thinking the same thing. Is this really happening? Undercover Boss, Airline Edition. Now here's where things get interesting. Remember that young black woman, the one Karen decided was out of place in first class? Turns out she's not just any passenger. She's the CEO of the entire airline. Yep, you heard that right. The big boss lady herself going incognito to check on her company. Talk about a plot twist. It's like an episode of Undercover Boss, but with higher stakes and a much, much better ending. The tables have turned. So there's Karen, still trying to play it cool, but you can see the cracks starting to show. Her forced smile is barely holding up, and her eyes dart around nervously. It's almost like she's hoping this is all just a bad dream she'll wake up from any second now. Meanwhile, the CEO, who had been quietly observing the whole situation, decides it's time to step in. With a calm and composed demeanor, she reveals her true identity. The look on Karen's face? Absolutely priceless. It's a mix of shock, disbelief, and a hint of fear. You can almost hear her internal monologue screaming, "This can't be happening." As the reality of the situation sinks in, Karen's posture changes. She goes from trying to maintain her authority to looking utterly dejected. Her shoulders slump, and her expression turns into one of pure defeat. You could practically see the tiny violins playing a sad song for her career. It's a moment of poetic justice, where the tables have truly turned. The other passengers, who had been watching the drama unfold with bated breath, suddenly come to life. Their reactions range from wide-eyed surprise to barely contained laughter. It's as if a collective weight has been lifted off their shoulders. They went from an uncomfortable silence to a chorus of, "Oh snap!" in record time. The atmosphere in the cabin shifts dramatically. Remember those judgmental stares from before? The ones that made you feel like you were in a courtroom being silently judged by a jury of your peers? Yeah, those were gone. In their place, you now see looks of amusement and satisfaction. It's clear that the passengers are relishing this unexpected turn of events. And then, there are the stern looks, the kind that say, "You're in trouble now." These are directed squarely at Karen. It's a complete reversal of fortune. Just moments ago, she was the one in control, dishing out orders and judgment. Now she's on the receiving end, and it's not a pleasant place to be. The tables have indeed turned, and everyone on that plane knows it. Justice served with extra peanuts. The rest, as they say, is history. The CEO, calm and collected as ever, lays down the law. Karen's condescending tone? Gone. Replaced with a stammering apology that wouldn't convince a toddler. Word spreads through the plane faster than a whisper down the line. And you know what? Those tiny bags of peanuts? They tasted a whole lot sweeter that day. Because sometimes justice is served at 30,000 feet with a side of pretzels. Beyond the flight. But here's the thing, folks. When we talk about flights, we often think about the journey from one place to another, the destinations, the logistics, and the excitement of travel. However, there's a deeper narrative that often goes unnoticed. This isn't just about one flight attendant and one CEO. It's about the myriad of interactions that happen every day, both in the air and on the ground. It's about the connections we make, the stories we share, and the lessons we learn from each other. This is bigger than that. It's about the broader human experience and how we navigate our lives amidst a sea of strangers. Every person we encounter has a story, a background, and a set of experiences that shape who they are. It's about all the times we judge a book by its cover, all the times we make snap judgments based on appearances or preconceived notions. We often forget that beneath the surface, there's so much more to discover. All the times we let our prejudices cloud our judgment. These biases can prevent us from truly understanding and appreciating the richness of human diversity. They can create barriers that hinder meaningful connections and mutual respect. It's a reminder that everyone deserves to be treated with respect, regardless of their race, their gender, or what class of ticket they hold. Respect is a fundamental human right, and it's something we should extend to everyone we meet, or what class of ticket they hold. Because in the grand scheme of things, these superficial distinctions don't define our worth or our potential. What truly matters is our character, our actions, and how we treat others. Because you never know who you're sitting next to on a plane. They could be someone with a fascinating life story, someone who has overcome incredible challenges, or someone who can offer a new perspective on life. They could be a CEO, a celebrity, or someone who has made a significant impact in their community. But beyond titles and achievements, they are human beings with dreams, fears, and aspirations just like you. Or just another human being trying to get to their destination. Every journey is unique, and every person we meet along the way has the potential to teach us something valuable. So let's approach each encounter with an open heart and an open mind, ready to learn and grow together. What we learned today, so the next time you're flying, remember this story. Remember that the friendly skies should be friendly for everyone. And if you see something, say something. because we all deserve a smooth flight. And hey, if you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more tales from the wild world of travel.